In this video we're going to be going over engine oil, its purposes, and basically how it works in your engine, and just some basics on it. So it has three purposes. Those are lubrication, cooling, and cleaning. So lubrication, what it does is it reduces wear, reduces friction, thereby making your engine more efficient and you gain a little bit of power with it. So cooling, the oil acts as a heat sink and it transfers that heat away from those parts that might overheat back into the oil pan, kind of rotates it around so that way you keep your engine slightly cooler. And cleaning, what it does is it absorbs deposits and contaminants such as rust and filters it out. So that's really good for your engine. So now here I'm going to go into a quick definition of viscosity before we go into the types of oil. So the viscosity is the state of being thick, sticky, and semi-fluid in consistency due to internal friction. So when you see an oil rating right here, SAE 10W30, that's Society of Automotive Engineers 10W30. So these two numbers are two different viscosity ratings. So the number with the W, that W stands for winter, and that's the viscosity at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And that number over here, the 30, is the viscosity at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So the higher the number, the more viscous it is, the more of a solid it acts like. So you might be thinking intuitively it would make sense that the number at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, so a colder liquid will congeal more, therefore it should be more viscous. Therefore you would think that at a lower temperature it should be a higher number and more viscous. But the oil is specifically designed and blended in order to be thinner at a lower temperature. So that way when you're starting up a cold engine, you have very thin oil that's easy to pressurize and move through the system quickly to lubricate and do its job as quickly as possible. Another note, if you see an oil that says, say, just SAE 30 or SAE 20, doesn't have the W, that's a simpler oil, usually meant for simpler engines such as a chainsaw, so probably not going to want to put that in your car. So lastly, you have two options basically when buying oil. There's synthetic and non-synthetic, also called dyno oil, which is short for dinosaur oil, which means it's just hydrocarbons harvested from the earth, natural resource. Synthetic is made in the lab. Synthetic is pretty much better in every way. It'll last longer, it does its job better, only it's more costly. So if you're going for a cheaper route but you're going to have to change it out more, go for the dyno oil. Alright, moving on. Here we have a picture of the engine and the whole oil system. So starting at the bottom, you have all your oil down here, and the oil pan is at the bottom of the engine. So here it's going to be sucked up by the oil pump, pressurized, go through the filter, and it's going to go to lubricate three main parts of the engine: your crankshaft, cylinders, and camshaft. So how this works is, so for the crankshaft, it's going to get pressurized, spray up, it's going to lubricate the main cap bearings and where the connecting rod of the piston connects to the crankshaft. And when it's done with this, it's going to drip down, fall back down to the oil pan. For the cylinders, it's going to shoot up from beneath the pistons, come at them from the bottom, lubricate the cylinder walls. The pistons will also have holes right near the top, say here and here, here and here, so that oil, when it comes up, can kind of come out and again lubricate the cylinder walls. And the camshaft, this is important, lubricates the camshaft bearing, the lobes. Those are always under they're rotating very fast and always under contact and friction with the rockers, so this definitely needs some lubrication right there. And with all of this, when it's done, it's going to drip back down, go back to the oil pan, get ready to go through the pump and filter again. One last important point is that this pump right here, this is the oil pump, is belt driven. So as you can see, I drew some pulleys and a belt. So it's driven by the engine. So what that means is that as you increase your RPM, as you step on the throttle, your oil pressure is going to increase. So the faster you're driving, the faster oil is going to be sprayed through and go through this whole system, which is good because the faster all these parts are moving, the more lubrication you're going to need. So that's pretty much it for the basics of engine oil, why you need it, how it works. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below.